It all started with a folded piece of paper, barely the size of a receipt, that slipped out of an old school notebook when Matt was cleaning his garage. He hadn't thought about Aurora Brown in years, but the second he saw her handwriting, his stomach dropped. It wasn't just a note. It was a blueprint for escape, and it was signed with 3 words that still haunt him. Don't tell Robyn. Why would Aurora plan to run away? What was she so afraid of inside the Brown household? The letter was dated 3 weeks before they broke up, and weeks after she stopped returning his texts. Now he knew why. She was being watched, controlled, and silenced. When Matt reached out to her just to ask if she was okay, the hammer came down. Kody Brown filed a harassment injunction. Within 48 hours, Robyn called Matt's mother, threatening legal action. And Aurora, she vanished from all social media. What followed next was the kind of courtroom battle nobody saw coming. Not about land, not about money, but about one teenage girl and what she tried to escape. Because the more they tried to hide it, the more the truth unraveled. This wasn't just a forbidden teenage romance. This was something deeper, darker, dangerous. And when the judge finally asked to see the original escape letter, Robyn's reaction shocked the entire courtroom. She called it a forgery and threatened to sue. Why would a mother go to such lengths to silence her daughter's past? And what exactly was Kody trying to cover up? Let us know in the comments. Do you think Aurora was planning something the Browns were desperate to keep hidden? Matt never expected to see Aurora's name again. It had been over 2 years since they had spoken, not because they wanted it that way, but because something unspoken had broken between them. She ghosted him overnight. No goodbye, no fight, no warning, just silence. And now, here he was, sitting cross-legged in his parents' garage, flipping through old high school notebooks that still smelled like pencil shavings and spring anxiety. When the folded sheet slipped out and landed near his foot, Matt thought it was trash. But when he opened it and saw her handwriting, that sharp, loopy scrawl he used to memorize in notes passed under desks, his breath caught. Matt, if you ever find this, I probably didn't get to run. I don't know what happens if I try. I'm scared all the time I think they're watching me. There are cameras, like real ones. Please don't show this to anyone, especially not Robyn. She'll know, and she'll make it worse. Matt stared at the paper for nearly 5 minutes before moving. He read it over and over again, trying to make sense of it, trying to remember if she ever hinted at something darker. But back then, she always smiled. She was nervous, yes, twitchy sometimes. She'd flinch when her phone buzzed, but she always insisted things at home were just complicated. This wasn't complicated, this was something else. Sometimes one small letter is all it takes to unlock a buried truth that was never meant to be found. His hands trembled as he took a photo of the note with his phone. His first instinct was to text her, but she wasn't on Instagram anymore. Her number rang straight to voicemail. Something inside him stirred, not just worry, but guilt. He had loved her once, and now this felt like a final cry for help that had arrived years too late. Matt's mother found him that evening, sitting quietly at the kitchen counter. When she asked if everything was okay, he showed her the letter, her lips pressed into a thin, hard line. She remembered Aurora, kind, polite, soft-spoken. Always seemed like she was afraid of saying too much. She also remembered the day Robyn Brown called their house, furious, asking why Matt was texting Aurora late at night. That was the day everything stopped. Matt's mother made a suggestion. Maybe just check in. Just ask if she's okay. It was the most innocent decision, a single message through an old friend's account. Hey, just wanted to make sure you're all right. I found something. I think you meant for me to. He hit send, and within 48 hours, his world turned upside down. A sheriff's deputy knocked on their door that Friday morning with a court summons. Kody Brown had filed for an emergency injunction, claiming Matt was stalking his daughter and violating her privacy. The documents were aggressive. Robyn had attached a declaration accusing Matt of emotional harm, manipulation, and potentially dangerous behavior. There was no warning, no phone call, just a court date. Matt couldn't believe it. He hadn't even spoken to her in 2 years. He sent one message, one. But by the time the courtroom lights flicked on and the judge walked in, it was clear something far bigger was at play. Kody sat stiffly in the front row, his jaw tight and fists clenched. Robyn held a thick manila envelope to her chest like it was sacred, and Aurora. She wasn't even in the room. Her absence hit Matt harder than he expected. When the person at the center of the storm is missing, every silence becomes a scream. The judge was a no-nonsense woman who cut to the point. This is an emergency injunction filed against Matthew Hill claiming he is harassing Aurora Brown. Mr. Brown, Mrs. Brown, you are both here as her legal guardians. Mr. Hill, you are here to respond. Is that correct? Matt's lawyer, a young woman named Kendra who seemed like she'd been thrown into the deep end, nodded firmly. Yes, Your Honor, we're ready to respond. And we have evidence that contradicts the claim. Evidence? Kendra stood and held up a copy of the letter. This was found in Mr. Hill's possession last week. It's a handwritten note from Aurora Brown. We believe it to be genuine. It does not indicate harassment. It suggests she was trying to escape her environment. It's relevant to the allegations. Robyn was already shaking her head. That letter is fake. I want it stricken from the record. The judge narrowed her eyes. We'll determine admissibility in a moment. Mr. Brown, do you have something to say? Kody's voice was sharp. This boy has been obsessed with my daughter for years. He's dangerous. And where is Aurora now? That question lingered like smoke. Robyn opened her mouth, then closed it. Kody finally spoke. She's not well enough to testify. She's under emotional distress from being harassed. Matt turned, shocked. Aurora? Distressed? From what? His message? He whispered to his lawyer, ask about the cameras. Ask if they deny having cameras in the house. Kendra rose again. Your Honor, we would like to ask Mrs. Brown under oath whether she installed surveillance equipment in her home that monitored Aurora's private movements. Robyn's mouth fell open. That's absurd. Is it a yes or no, Mrs. Brown? I don't have to answer that, Robyn snapped. This isn't about our home. But the judge leaned forward. Actually, it might be. If this young woman felt unsafe, it could directly relate to her behavior, Mrs. Brown. Did you have cameras installed in the home that monitored Aurora's room or personal activities? Robyn's face flushed. Only for safety, not for spying, and that has nothing to do with this made-up letter. The louder someone insists a document is fake, the more likely they know exactly what it reveals. Kody jumped in. This letter is a lie. We have handwriting samples. Aurora never wrote that. But Matt couldn't stay silent. He stood. I know her handwriting. I know it like I know my own name. The courtroom murmured. Kendra whispered, sit, Matt. But the judge allowed it. You're saying it's real? The judge asked. Matt nodded. I don't think she meant for me to find it. But I did. And I think she wanted to leave. And she was scared. Not of me. Of them. He gestured to Kody and Robyn. Robyn rose to her feet. This is slander. He's trying to twist her words to make himself look innocent. The judge raised her gavel slightly. Enough. If either party interrupts again, I will remove them from this hearing. Matt's hand shook slightly. He knew this would cost him. But he couldn't walk away now. That letter, it wasn't just some scribbled note. It was a confession. A plea. And Robyn was desperate to bury it. Kendra calmly addressed the judge again. Your Honor, we would like a handwriting analysis to verify the authenticity. We'd also like to call a witness who was with Matt the day he found it. Motion noted, the judge replied. Then she looked squarely at Robyn. If this letter is fake, you have nothing to fear from a handwriting expert, do you? Robyn didn't answer. The judge continued. Very well. This court orders the original letter submitted to forensics. You will both return in 1 week for further review. As the session adjourned, Kody brushed past Matt, lowering his voice with venom. You don't know what you're playing with. Matt didn't flinch. Maybe not. But she was trying to get away from something, and I'm not letting you erase her voice. In some families, silence is the only rule, and breaking it comes with a price. But Matt had no idea how high that price would go, because 1 week later they'd learn the truth wasn't just written in ink. It was also caught on tape. The courthouse hallway feels colder the second week, like the walls themselves already know what's coming. Matt arrives early, clutching the notebook where he found Aurora's letter, his pulse thumping in his ears. He tries to convince himself that today will bring answers, clarity, closure, but something inside him keeps twisting, like the truth is bigger and darker than he ever imagined. Kendra stands beside him, flipping through her notes. She's more serious today, less of the young, hopeful lawyer trying to fix a misunderstanding, and more of someone preparing for a war she didn't sign up to fight. She leans in. I need you to stay calm, Matt. Today they're going to push harder. Why? he asked quietly. Because the forensics report came in last night, she says, and Robyn already tried to stop it from being admitted. That tells me she's terrified of whatever it says. Before he can respond, the heavy courtroom doors swing open. Kody enters first, pacing like a caged animal, dressed sharper than usual, dark jacket buttoned high. Robyn follows behind him, clutching tissues, her eyes glossy, not from crying, but from something more rehearsed. She isn't shaking, she isn't breaking, she's preparing, and then Aurora enters. Matt freezes. She's thinner than he remembers. Her hair is pulled tightly back, her posture rigid, her eyes darting nervously toward her parents before she dares glance at him. She looks like someone watching the floor for traps. He raises a small hand in greeting, just 2 fingers, barely moving. She flinches. That tiny reaction tells him everything. Sometimes fear doesn't have to be spoken to be understood. It shows itself in the smallest, quietest movements. The judge calls everyone to order. We're here to review the forensic analysis of the letter allegedly written by Aurora Brown. We will hear from the analyst, and then I may call Aurora herself for clarification. Robyn immediately stands. Your Honor, Aurora is emotionally fragile. She shouldn't be questioned. The judge doesn't look impressed. Mrs. Brown, sit down. No one is questioning her yet. Aurora sits stiffly, hands in her lap, shoulders trembling like she's afraid of breathing wrong. The forensic handwriting expert, an older woman with a calm, steady demeanor, takes the stand. She introduces herself, reviews her credentials, and then holds up the letter inside a plastic sleeve. Is it genuine? The judge asks. The expert nods. Yes. Based on my analysis, this letter was written by the same person who wrote Aurora Brown's school assignments, journal excerpts, and signature samples. Matt exhales shakily. He expected relief. Instead, he feels dread. Robyn leaps to her feet. That can't be right. She would never write something like that. The judge bangs her gavel. Mrs. Brown, one more outburst and you will be escorted out. Aurora's gaze drops to the floor again, cheeks flushing red as her mother continues to erupt. And then, something unexpected happens. Aurora's fingers twitch toward her own bag, where Matt sees the outline of a small notebook. Her diary? Or something else she's afraid to show. The courtroom quiets as the expert continues. Additionally, the indentations on the page indicate pressure marks consistent with writing under emotional distress. Shaking hands, inconsistent pressure, hesitations. The judge nods slowly. So the content of the letter appears to be legitimate. Yes, Your Honor. Robyn whispers furiously to Kody, and he squeezes her hand, trying to regain control, but the judge isn't finished. I'd like Aurora to approach the stand. Before anyone can move, Robyn bolts up again. No, you can't force her. Aurora, the judge says gently, ignoring Robyn completely. Would you feel comfortable answering a few simple questions? If not, you may tell me directly, not through your parents. Aurora slowly lifts her head. Matt sees something flicker in her eyes. Maybe fear, maybe defiance, maybe both. She swallows. I can answer. The courtroom inhales all at once. Aurora walks to the stand. Every footstep sounds like it echoes. She sits. She holds her breath. She folds her hands so tightly her knuckles strain white. Aurora, the judge says softly, did you write this? Aurora's lips part, but no sound comes out. Her eyes flick toward Robyn. Robyn shakes her head. A tiny, subtle shake, but one loaded with meaning. Aurora closes her eyes. I don't remember writing it. Her voice is barely a whisper, trembling, fragile, shrinking under the weight of a truth she's terrified to speak. Matt leans forward, his chest tightening. He knows she remembers. He knows she's scared, and the judge seems to pick up on it too. Aurora, the judge says more firmly, this is a yes or no question. Did you write the letter? Robyn clears her throat loudly, making sure Aurora hears her. Aurora breathes out, shaking her head slowly. I can't say, she whispers. I don't want to get in trouble. Trouble from whom? The judge asks calmly. Aurora freezes, a beat passes, then another, but she says nothing. When silence protects danger, it becomes the loudest warning of all. The judge turns to Matt's lawyer. Counsel, your witness. Kendra stands. She's gentle, soft, like she's speaking to a wounded animal afraid of the light. Aurora, do you feel safe right now? Aurora's eyes water instantly. Robyn slams her palm onto the table. This is manipulation. The judge points sharply at her. Mrs. Brown, out. Bailiff, escort her to wait in the hall for the next 15 minutes. The bailiff reaches for Robyn's elbow. Kody stands too, shouting, You can't take her away from our daughter. This is harassment. But the judge doesn't blink. Mr. Brown, sit down, or you will join her. Kody sits. Robyn is guided out, protesting violently, but the second the doors close, the entire room relaxes, except for Aurora, whose body seems to collapse like a weight came crashing down on her shoulders. Kendra steps closer. Aurora, now that it's just you, do you want to tell us how you felt when you wrote that letter? Aurora looks up. Her chin trembles. A tear slips down her cheek. She nods, but her voice cracks as she tries to speak. I was scared. Of who? Kendra asks softly. Aurora wipes her cheeks, her breath hitching. I can't say, she whispers, voice strangled. I'll get everyone in trouble. Kendra takes a risk. Did you feel controlled? Aurora nods again. By your boyfriend? She immediately shakes her head. No. By your father? She hesitates. By your mother? Her lip quivers violently. The judge leans forward. Aurora, no one here wants to hurt you, but the only way to protect you is if you tell the truth. Aurora swallows, her voice barely audible. She wouldn't let me see him, she whispers. She read my messages. She checked my notebooks. Her words break off. The doors slam open. Robyn storms back inside, shouting, Aurora, stop! Don't you dare lie about me! Security rushes to intercept her, but her voice already echoes wild and frantic. The judge shouts, Bailiff! Remove her immediately! Robyn lunges toward Aurora. You promised me. You promised you wouldn't embarrass this family. Aurora's entire body jerks in fear, and that single reaction, that tiny flinch, changes everything. The judge slams her gavel. Court is in recess. Bailiff, remove the witness and keep her safe from all parties. Kody explodes. You can't take her. But the bailiff is already guiding Aurora away, and for the first time, Aurora doesn't look back at her parents. She looks at Matt. Just for a split second, a silent plea, a silent apology, a silent truth. And in that fleeting glance, Matt finally understands. Aurora didn't just want to run away. She tried to security escort Aurora to a private room. Court adjourns into chaos. Matt stands still, heart pounding, watching Kody shove his papers into a bag, Robyn screaming in the hallway, lawyers arguing, the entire brown facade cracking open like a dropped glass. Kendra touches his arm. We're not done. The judge wants additional evidence. Something triggered her. Something big. What else could there be? Matt whispers. Kendra shakes her head. I don't know, but someone else knew about this. Someone besides you. Matt feels a chill crawl up his spine. Someone else. Someone who's been silent. Someone who's been watching. A shadow appears in the corner of the hallway. Someone Matt didn't expect. Meri. She steps forward slowly, her expression tight, conflicted, almost frightened. Matt, she says softly, I need to talk to you, alone. He blinks. About what? She glances toward the courtroom doors to make sure Robyn and Kody are nowhere near. She leans in. Her voice is barely a breath. Because you're not the only one Aurora left a letter for. Matt doesn't move. Meri's words hit him like a slap. Sharp, cold, impossible to ignore. You're not the only one Aurora left a letter for. He stares at her. Meri isn't panicking like Robyn. She isn't trying to spin the narrative like Kody. She's calm, but there's a tension in her shoulders that says this has been building for a long time. Where? He asks, voice low. In my storage bin. She gave it to me over a year ago. Told me to hold on to it just in case. Meri pauses. Just in case she disappeared. Matt's stomach turns. Kendra steps in. Do you have it with you? No, Meri says, pout. But I'll bring it. I just didn't know if I had the courage to show it. They meet later that afternoon in the side room of the courthouse, away from the press and away from Robyn screeching down the hall. Meri pulls the envelope from her purse. It's thinner than Matt expected, just one page. He recognizes the handwriting instantly. Same looped E's, same slanted M's. But this time, the tone is different. More desperate, more raw. Meri slides it across the table. She told me she felt like a prisoner. Said she didn't trust Robyn anymore. Said that if she ever ran and no one heard from her, to give this to someone who'd listen. Kendra puts on gloves and opens the page slowly. It reads, "If you're reading this, it means I tried and failed. Please don't let them say I was just emotional. I was scared. Matt didn't do anything. He was the only person who made me feel normal. I wasn't allowed to cry in front of Mom. She said I'd ruin everything. I wanted to leave. I couldn't breathe in that house. Kody said if I ran, I'd be cut off. But Mom said worse. She said she'd make sure no one believed me." Matt stares at the letter, mouth dry. When a victim knows no one will believe them, they begin writing for the day they disappear. Kendra takes a photo immediately and prepares a motion to submit it as new evidence, but Meri stops her hand. "I need to testify myself," she says. "If I just give you this, Robyn will say I forged it. I want to go on the stand, under oath." Matt's heart races. He never thought Meri, quiet, reserved Meri, would be the one to break the silence. Kendra nods. "We'll file it now." Back in court the next morning, Robyn looks pale. She's not screaming anymore. She's cold now, frozen, calculating. Kody's arm is around her, but his fingers twitch with nervous tension. The judge calls the room to order. "Ms. Meri Brown has requested to testify as a voluntary witness. Counsel, do you object?" Robyn stands, eyes blazing. "Yes, absolutely. She's biased. She's jealous." But the judge waves her off. "Sit down, Mrs. Brown." Meri walks slowly to the stand. She takes the oath. She sits tall. "A year ago," she begins, "Aurora came to visit me. It was rare. Robyn usually didn't let her come alone, but that day she was crying. She handed me a letter and said, 'Don't open it unless I disappear.'" Meri pulls the letter from her folder. "I opened it last night. After what happened in court yesterday, I couldn't stay silent anymore." The judge leans forward. "Can you read it aloud?" Meri nods. She reads every word slowly, clearly, and by the end of it, the courtroom is dead silent. Except for the faint sound of Aurora crying behind her hands, Robyn is shaking, not with grief, but with rage. "She's lying," Robyn hisses. "She's just bitter. I had a real marriage with Kody. She never got over it." The judge slams the gavel. "Mrs. Brown, this is your last warning." Meri doesn't even flinch. She stares directly at Robyn. This isn't about Kody. It's about a girl who wanted to run, and about a mother who wouldn't let her. Sometimes the most dangerous silence is the one enforced by someone who claims it's love. The judge takes the letter into evidence. Kendra moves quickly, submitting the forensic match between both letters, confirming again, same pen pressure, same inconsistencies, same trembling hand. The judge asks Aurora if she recognizes the second letter. Aurora wipes her eyes. She nods. "Did you write this?" the judge asks. Another pause. Then a whispered, "Yes." The room stirs. Robyn leaps up. "You told me you didn't. You promised." Aurora breaks. "I lied because you scared me." Her voice echoes off the walls, shattering the illusion Robyn had carefully constructed over the years. "You told me if I ever saw Matt again, you called the police. You said he was disgusting. You said he'd ruin our reputation. You made me sit in my room and delete every photo, every message, every thought of him." She's sobbing now. "I loved him, and you punished me for it." The courtroom is stunned. Kody tries to speak. She's confused. She doesn't know what... "You threatened me too," Aurora shouts, pointing at him. "You said if I didn't listen, I'd be cut off like the others, like Gabe, like Garrison." Robyn grabs Kody's arm. "Do something!" But he's frozen. He can't stop it. Not this time. The judge bangs the gavel hard. "Court will reconvene in 1 hour. Counsel, be prepared for a formal cross-examination." Matt stares across the room as Aurora collapses into Meri's arms. He never thought it would come to this. Not a courtroom, not tears, not betrayal exploding like this. He just wanted to know she was okay. When love is forbidden, the truth always finds a way through the cracks in the silence. But just when they think it can't get more intense, it does. As Matt and Kendra step into the hallway, a woman approaches. Early 40s, long coat, nervous eyes. She leans in close to Matt. "You don't know me," she whispers, "but I was the hotel clerk the night Aurora was supposed to run. I have something you need to see." Matt's heart skips. She opens her purse and pulls out a plastic zip bag. Inside it is a USB drive. Kendra whispers, "What's on it?" The woman leans closer. "Security footage, bus terminal, 10:43 p.m. Aurora Brown was there. She was crying, and someone else showed up." Matt leans in. Who? The woman's face darkens. Robyn. Matt doesn't speak for several seconds. He just stares at the USB drive in the clerk's trembling hands like it's a grenade. This little plastic stick, it could change everything. It could confirm what Aurora was too scared to say. Or worse, it could show something even more disturbing than anyone imagined. Kendra takes the drive gently. Where did you get this? She asks. The woman glances over her shoulder. That night, I was the night shift clerk at the hotel. She never showed, but we checked security after I got a call from someone named Robyn threatening legal action. I wasn't supposed to keep the footage, but I did. Matt's breath catches. Why? Because the look on that girl's face. It didn't sit right with me. I kept it in case she ever came back. She never did. Kendra nods slowly. We'll enter this into evidence immediately. Thank you for coming forward. The woman starts to turn away but stops. Just promise me she's okay. Matt's voice is low. We're trying. Inside the courtroom, the tension feels like a third presence in the room. Alive, breathing, waiting. Kendra informs the judge about the new evidence. USB footage of the Flagstaff bus terminal, the night Aurora Brown was allegedly planning to run away, dated and time-stamped, delivered by the original hotel clerk. Robyn shoots up. Objection, chain of custody. The judge waves her off. Overruled. The witness is available for questioning if needed. Play the footage. All eyes turn to the courtroom monitor as the lights dim. The video is grainy, dated. A timestamp in the corner reads 10:43 p.m. February 9th. It starts with a quiet bus terminal, nearly empty. Then Aurora appears. Hood pulled up, backpack clutched tightly. She's pacing, glancing around, crying. At one point, she lifts her phone, hesitates, then puts it back. The room is dead silent. Then, at 10:49 p.m., a second figure enters the frame, Robyn. When truth walks in on tape, lies don't stand a chance, no matter how well they were rehearsed. Matt hears a collective intake of breath as Robyn storms into the terminal, jaw tight, arms flailing. There's no audio, but the video doesn't need sound. It speaks volumes. Aurora backs away. Robyn moves closer, points, grabs her by the wrist, pulls her toward the exit. Aurora shakes her head. Robyn yanks harder. At one point, Aurora drops to the floor, refusing to move. Robyn crouches low, puts both hands on Aurora's face. Too tightly, Aurora jerks away, and then a station worker enters. He starts walking toward them. Robyn sees him. She stands, grabs Aurora's bag, and hurls it across the floor. Aurora scrambles to get it. Robyn storms off first. Aurora follows, shoulders slumped, defeated, her escape bag in her arms like a shield she knows won't save her. The footage ends. No one breathes. The judge sits frozen. Robyn is white as a sheet. Kody buries his face in his hands. And Matt, he wants to scream. The judge speaks first. Does the court have verification of this date and time? Kendra holds up the printed confirmation. We do. The video file was timestamped by the security system. No edits, no breaks. The judge leans back. This contradicts sworn testimony that Aurora was home that night under emotional distress. Instead, we see her attempting to leave. We see physical confrontation. We see clear coercion. She turns to Robyn. Mrs. Brown, you denied threatening your daughter. You claimed Matt was the threat. Care to respond? Robyn's mouth opens, but nothing comes out. Aurora's voice from behind the witness bench is barely audible. She told me if I left, I'd ruin the whole family. Everyone turns. Aurora steps forward. She said I'd destroy the show, that Kody would cut off my siblings, that I'd be the reason the family broke up. She's shaking, but she's not crying anymore. She said Matt was using me, that he'd end up in jail, that the only way to keep him safe was to block him. Her voice cracks. So I did, and I hated myself for it. Matt's eyes sting. Aurora walks to the stand and places her hand on the edge of the bench. I wanted to run away, not because of Matt, because of home, because I was never alone, because even in the bathroom I could hear the beep of cameras, because I wasn't allowed to make choices. The judge signals for the bailiff to close the gallery doors. Aurora continues. She said if I ever talked, she'd tell people I was unstable, that I was breaking down, that I was acting out, that no one would believe me. Her hand trembles. But you believed me. You listened. She turns to Matt. I'm sorry. He shakes his head slowly. Don't be. When the one person you loved apologizes for surviving, you know they were never safe to begin with. The judge's voice is low. Mrs. Brown, this court will now consider a full child protective review of your actions. I will also consider a restraining order from you and Mr. Brown regarding Aurora's autonomy moving forward. Robyn stands, but she looks defeated. Not fiery, not enraged, just stunned, like the walls are closing in. Kody says nothing. He hasn't spoken in 20 minutes. He doesn't even look at his daughter. But then something strange happens. A commotion outside the courtroom. The judge raises an eyebrow. What now? The doors open. Christine walks in. Everyone turns. She's holding something, a sealed envelope. I'm sorry for the interruption, Your Honor, Christine says, but I have something you need to see. She hands it to the judge. It's from my daughter. Truly. She was Aurora's confidant during that year, and she kept something that Aurora forgot existed. The judge opens the envelope slowly. Inside is a printed photo. It's Aurora and Matt hugging, laughing, sitting at a picnic table with a small stack of notes between them. But in the corner of the photo is Robyn, far behind them, watching. The judge lifts the photo toward Robyn. You claim to have no knowledge of their meetings, yet this photo, time-stamped from 4 months before the bus station incident, shows you watching them from afar. Robyn stares blankly. I didn't know it was taken. The judge turns to Aurora. Did your mother spy on you often? Aurora doesn't hesitate. All the time. Another beat. Then the judge announces what no one expected. I'm referring this case to Child Protective Services and the state's Family Monitoring Board. This goes beyond miscommunication. This is coercion, surveillance, and emotional manipulation. She looks at Matt. And I'm lifting the injunction effective immediately. Matt's knees almost give out. He nods slowly, overwhelmed. Kendra smiles for the first time in days, but then the judge says something else. And finally, I want to see one more piece of evidence. Meri Brown, please approach. Meri walks to the bench. The judge lowers her voice. Yesterday, you testified that Aurora left you one letter. Is that correct? Meri nods. Yes. Is there a second? Meri freezes. Matt looks up. Christine's eyes widen. Meri reaches into her bag and pulls out a folded blue page. I wasn't sure if I should share this, she says, because this one wasn't meant for me. It was meant for Dayton. She places it on the judge's bench. I found it in a book Aurora gave me years ago. I forgot it was there until today. The judge opens it, reads silently, then looks up, pale. She turns it toward the lawyers. Matt reads the first line. Dayton, if anything happens to me, tell them about the night in Mom's office, the burner phone, the recording, the deal she made with Kody. The courtroom explodes. The judge bangs her gavel, but it's no use, because now, this isn't just a custody issue. It's conspiracy.